whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work.
Judah. At this time, we were like all the gainsayers and naysayers of Israel united in Christ. Take this moment, please, to shut up. All right, I'm going in. Fix your face. We ain't going nowhere. Scriptures popping, ain't no stopping. When I'm on post, so don't go there. Gotta get it if you wanna know that. Fringed up and I'ma show that. Mad at me cause it's Bible verse. Boy, we ain't wrote that.
We're going to tell you what God says to do. We're going to give it to you. And yes, we're going to make you accountable for that. And we don't care how you feel about it. The Bible says whether they hear from them, they going to know apocalypse in amongst them.
I go saying that they should bring you into Egypt again. This is a curse that was put upon the nation of Israel to identify these nations of Israel all today. Brazilian, Cubans, Haitians, and Dominicans.
And this same woman, the Most High has set his face against them. That's why we are the bottom of society as a nation of people.
For whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work. For whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work. Woo!
We be them boys in that purple. Geeking in them scriptures, man, you can call me Urkel. Christ is coming with them chairs like a circle, with flames of fire on those who don't follow instruction. Repent or die.
Revelations 11.
Bring it on.
Because this right here is spiritual Egypt. You're still in captivity. You still on the bottom. You still fit these curses. And the only way to come out of it is to keep God's laws. Read that.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies lying in the street of the great city, which is spiritually cold.
So it said our dead bodies. Not meaning that we're physically dead, but spiritually. It said our dead bodies lay in the street, read.
Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
It said it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because the same things that was going on in Sodom is the same things happening now. The same things that was happening in Egypt is the same things happening now. How you doing today, bro? Let me ask you a question. Let me talk to you real quick. I got a question to ask you. What would you say your nationality is?
I really don't know.
Okay, and that's fine, because I didn't know neither. And this is our job, is to show our people in the Bible who we are, who we really are. So a lot of our people, would you say America calls you so-called African-American, right? Would you say that?
That's what America says.
Right, that's what America says. Now, did you know, according to the Bible, look at that 12 tribe sign right there. So so-called African-Americans, we are from the tribe of Judah. But we've been called African-American because of our slave names. African-American wasn't even a term until, what was it, the 70s when Jesse Jackson. There was never a term. We went from colors, niggas, Negroes, all of those different things. Why is it that our nationality always changes every so often? So so now let's see who we are according to the Bible, right? Let's start at Deuteronomy 28:15 again. Read that for me.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if that would not.
Matter of fact, hold that. Give me Jeremiah 14 and 4. Because we as a people, whether we know it or not, we have been discontinued from our heritage. We have not understood who we are as a people because it's been taken away from us. And it's been written in the Bible. Read that.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
So it said, even thou, thyself, we shall discontinue from our heritage. That's why our people call ourselves blacks, African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Native Indians, because we have lost our heritage. Now let's find out what our heritage is according to the Bible, Deuteronomy 28:15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God said the children of Israel, have you ever heard of the children of Israel in the Bible? So God said, guess what? The children of Israel, if they didn't want to keep God's laws, that there was going to be curses to come upon his people for not keeping God's laws, right? So now, when we read 16 through 68, these are all the curses that happened to the Israelites. That's how we're able to see who the Israelites are today. So now, I'm going to read these curses, and let's see who they fit. Let me get a few. Let me get 32, I believe it is.
Bring it out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So it said our sons and our daughters shall be given unto another people. Who as an entire nation of people were all of our sons and daughters given to another nation? Exactly. The way we was given to the white man, but who did that happen to? Yeah, the Israel, right, so-called Africans, right? So those are the things that happened to us. Now they called us Africans, why? Because we fled from the land of, we fled into the land of Africa when they besieged Jerusalem. That's why they have called us Africans. But our lineage goes far beyond that. Matter of fact, hold this. Get me Exodus, is it 7 and 11 or 11 and 7? 7 and 11. Check this out. We're going to show you that there's a difference between us, the Israelites, and the so-called Africans. Read that.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel, shall not a dog move his tongue.
So this is how God dealt with the children of Israel. He said, now shall a dog move his tongue. Meaning he loved the children of Israel. Read.
Against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord do put a difference.
He put a difference, read.
Between the Egyptians and Israel.
So he put a difference between Egyptians, Africans, and Israel. Just for example, Arabs have a real dark skin too, right? But are we Arabs? No, so just because we have the same skin complexion doesn't mean that we're the same people. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and read verse 32 again.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people.
So blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, their sons and daughters were given unto another people. Egyptian sons and daughters weren't given unto another people. The so-called Sudanese, their sons and daughters weren't given to another people. This happened to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
Thy eyes shall look and tell with longing of them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
Read that bottom part.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
So guess what? It said there should be no might in our hand to get our sons and our daughters back. You seen movies like 12 Years a Slave? Have you seen that movie? Remember when that lady cried and cried and cried because they took her daughter away? Those were the conditions that we lived in. We had no might to get our children back. These curses don't fit everybody. Nobody else can say that this happened to them. Matter of fact, what is that? Daniel 9 and 11. Hold that. Let me get Daniel 9 and 11. Because the Most High God said what happened to us has never happened to anybody else on the face of the earth. Read that for me.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel has transgressed thy law.
Right, he said all Israel, all of us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have transgressed God's law. Read.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
Right.
Therefore, curse in the poured upon us.
So it said the curses have been poured upon us. Well, we was just reading in Deuteronomy 28. Read. So it said the curses was going to be poured upon us. Well, we was just reading in Deuteronomy 28 about how our sons and our daughters were to be going to give it to another people. That's the same thing being spoken of in Daniel. Read.
Daniel chapter 9 verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
Right.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
So it says, therefore the curse, Deuteronomy 28, has been poured upon us for breaking God's commandments. Read.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses,
right,
the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Right. So it said, this is the reason that curse has been poured upon us, because we sinned against God. Now, there's a lot of other curses that I can read in Deuteronomy 28, but I'm going to get another one real quick that a lot of, we relate to all of them. We relate to all of them, but let me get verse 68. So I got a question. How did so-called blacks get here to America? White people, right? How did they, by what means of transportation? Ships. Guess what? This is recorded in the Bible thousands of years before it even happened. And nobody can say that happened to them. Nobody, the Asians can't say they went into slavery on slave ships. Arabs can't say that. Chinese can't say that. None of those people can say that they went. What'd you say?
None of them races went into slavery.
Exactly. And not like we did. Right? Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it said he shall bring us into Egypt again. Egypt is just a Greek word for bondage. So it said we shall go into bondage or slavery again with ships. Nobody else did that happen to. It happened to the so-called natives and Hispanics in 1492 under Christopher Columbus. Then it also happened to the so-called blacks, Haitians, Jamaicans in 1619, right? So read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee,
Come on.
thou shalt see it no more again.
Because we as a people, we have not seen our homeland, which is Jerusalem. Again, read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
It said we shall be sold unto our enemies. So when we got off those ships, who were we sold to? Exactly. So this is what the Bible is saying. All praises that you understand this, brother. All praises that this Bible is resonating with you, all right? Because a lot of our people don't understand this. They don't understand why we in these positions. And this is the very reason why we out here today, is to get our brothers and sisters to understand who they are according to the Bible. Keep reading.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen.
Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
And we were sold for slave men and slave women. When it says no man shall buy us, it meant that nobody was going to be able to save us except Christ. Because we had Martin Luther King that tried. We had Malcolm X. We had Marcus Garvey, Huey P. Newton, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner. Right. All these people, they tried, but they couldn't do it, right? The only way that it's going to happen is by keeping God's laws.
That's
all
right.
throughout the Bible, God has said, keep my commandments. All throughout the Bible. Matthew 19. Matthew 19 and verse 16. You believe in the Bible, bro? All praises, all praises.
It's a lot of shit I believe is made up.
What do you believe is made up?
A lot of stuff, like how they said Jesus is a herald and a wolf. But they tell you, you know what I mean? Like you go wild and you want to slander.
Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get Revelations. Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Look, my dad is a pastor. I grew up in the church for 18 plus years. And so the reason why I left church, because it didn't make sense. That's why I stopped believing in the Bible at one point, because they would tell me one thing. Exactly. And look, I'm telling you, I've been where you've been. Because I had been lied to with the Bible so much, I didn't know the truth. I didn't understand what the Bible actually meant. So like you said, where's that picture at? So it tells you what? That they say that this is the image of Christ, right? Now I'm here to tell you this, bro. The Bible is a true book. Everything that's in this Bible is real. We just read to you that how we went into slavery on slave ships, and that was recorded thousands of years before it happened. Now, let's get the real depiction of Christ. Read that for me.
Bring it out.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the Bible, which is true, said his head and his hairs were white like wool. We have woolly hair. That's us. They don't want, this is the thing, they don't want you to know that Christ looked like you, because that would give you an image. When you have it, exactly, when you have an image of somebody great that looks like you start to think of yourself differently. You start to have more pride about yourself. You start to carry yourself a different way. They destroyed that image from our people. That's why they put the so-called white man as Jesus. So now all you think is, well, if I want to do anything, I got to be like the white man. That's not what the Bible is about. This whole Bible is about us. This whole Bible is about us. This is our history book.
Bring it
We're
up.
bringing it back. Check, read that.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Just like
as
us.
white as snow.
Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And it said his eyes was a flame of fire. As you see on that, first of all, he doesn't have woolly hair. His eyes are not as a flame of fire. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So it said his feet were like unto fine brass. What color is brass? Like a goldish brown, right? So his feet were like unto fine brass.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So we already know if you put anything in the furnace, it's going to turn black. Exactly, black. So Christ was a black man. This right here is a lie. That is a lie to teach us that the so-called white man is the Christ. But that is the true image of Christ. Not saying that that's actually the depiction, but that's what he would look, exactly, a better one. Let me get First Maccabees, is it 3 and 40? 3 and 48. This is what the so-called white man has done, because this was a crafty, not invention. They had a council. They started to do this to what? Like I said, to tear down our image. Read that for me.
First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
So this Bible, this is the book of the law. So our forefathers, they opened the Bible. Read.
Wherein the
heathen did what?
had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So when we went into captivity, when the Greeks started to conquer, they started changing the color of the pictures, because they wanted to paint them in the likeness of their image. You see what I mean? Check this out. when we as black people, right, you see the black on black crime, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you see we have crime all day, every day, right? When, for example, if a black person kills another black person, is there a right? How destroyed in the mind they are. They have looked at the white people as God. So now when a white person kills a black person, they bug out. They're trying to figure out why, in their mind, why has God done this to me? Because the image that they have of Christ and God is a white image. But guess what? I can even show you in Daniel that even the Most High God was black. Because guess what? What did Christ say? If you have seen me, you've seen the Father, right? So guess what? If Christ was a black man, obviously God had to be a black man as well.
That's right. The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Right?
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
So it said the Ancient of Days did sit. This is the Almighty God himself. This is the Ancient of Days. He has no beginning or no end. Read.
Whose garment was white as snow.
So it said his garment was white as snow. In order for me to have on a garment, that means I have to have a body, right? So it said his garment was white as snow. Read.
And the hair of his head like the pure wool.
It said the hair on his head is like the pure wool. This isn't what we've been taught in church. They have given us these lies. We're not even knowing that this is in the Bible their whole entire time. Right. So when I came into this truth, I said, you telling me that that's in the Bible? You mean that all this time I've been in the church, these scriptures were never read? But guess what? Now is the time for this truth to come out. Now the truth is being brought up from out the earth. We're going to the four corners of the earth spreading this truth. We're here for you, brother. Now check this out. I talked about laws, right? Because at the end of the day, knowing that Christ is black, knowing that you're an Israelite, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. But the next step you have to do is keep God's laws. That's why we in this position in the first place. What you got? Yes, read that.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
So he came and he said, Good master, what should I do that I have eternal life, that I can get the kingdom? Read.
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one.
Right.
That is God.
Go ahead.
But if thou wilt enter into life,
he told him, he said, but if you want to enter into life, what do you have to do?
Keep the commandments.
This work for whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work.
Judah. At this time, we were like all the gainsayers and naysayers of Israel united in Christ. Take this moment, please, to shut up. All right, I'm going in. Fix your face. We ain't going nowhere. Scriptures popping, ain't no stopping. When I'm on post, so don't go there. Gotta get it if you wanna know that. Fringed up and I'ma show that. Mad at me cause it's Bible verse. Boy, we ain't wrote that.
We're going to tell you what God said to do. We're going to give it to you. And yes, we're going to make you accountable for that. And we don't care how you feel about it. The Bible says whether they hear from them, they go to apocalypse in amongst them.
Said that they should bring you into Egypt again. This is a curse that was put upon the nation of Israel to identify even the nation of Israel all today.
Brazilian, Cubans, Haitians, and Dominicans.
And this same woman, the Most High has set his face against them. That's why we are at the bottom of society as a nation of people.
For whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work. For whoever breaks the law, you gon' get this work.
Woo! We be them boys in that purple. Geeking in them scriptures, man, you can call me Urkel. Christ is coming with them chairs like a circle, with flames of fire on those who don't follow instruction. Repent or die.